What if your cycle's tire gets punctured like this? So how to make this punctured cycle's tire to work again? Repairing a bicycle puncture takes detaching the brake cable, remove the wheel of the bicycle, release the air from the tube, mark the tire, then remove the tire from the rim. Next you have to remove the tube, then find the hole in the tube which triggered the puncture. Locate what caused the puncture. Then you have to patch the hole which caused the puncture, and at last you are free to put everything back together. So you might have observed that repairing cycle your own is not a very easy task. It takes a lot of pain. It has a lot of steps that you have to follow while making that cycle tire repair. So, you might have observed that during the process of repairing this tube, the punctured cycle tube, you have to go through different steps: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. These steps will be there to take right from the beginning up to the end. And for now, these tools may not be available with you. You have to borrow from somewhere. But you have to arrange yourself. And after going through enormous these type of steps, several steps, you will finally be able to repair the cycle. Now what if your cycle is getting punctured more often? Means you have to repeat the steps again and again for getting your punctured cycle repaired. This might be a problematic thing for you, because one getting a cycle repair by your own of your own once is quite easy task. But when we are going to repeat the same step again and again ourselves, it will consume much time for us to get the cycle tire repaired, right? So we have to think an alternate uh, solution for this particular problem, where we can save our time of getting our tube repaired. So there is a second solution for it. Instead of getting the cycle tire repaired ourselves, what we can do is, uh, let us see. Well, an alternate way to do the same repair work will be to approach him. Yes, he is the Ramu cycle wala of your locality who has an expertise to repair a cycle more often, and he does not require any special tool because all the tools are available to him. So instead of repairing the cycle of your own, what you can do is you can channelize the work, or you can give up your work to him, and he has the expertise to repair the cycle puncture and do your task. So what I mean to say is that instead of taking the pain of repairing your bicycle tire yourself, what you can do is you can take the help of a specific person, or a specific skilled person who has an expertise to do the job for you. And you don't have to know about the details of the work. That means the steps which are involved in making the tire work. So you don't have to bother about it. The steps, you don't have to bother about what he is going to do with your cycle tire. You don't have to bother about all the 10 steps which we have seen. Giving your work to Ramu cycle wala for repairing your cycle actually saves your time and energy, and it does not requires you to have any specialized skill that the Ramu cycle wala has to repair your cycle. So back, what I want to say is that instead of doing the repair work of cycle yourself, what you are doing now is you are just delegating your work to some other agency who can appropriately and easily can take out that work in a very less time, and he does not requires any special skill to do that. So it saves your time as well as it makes your work efficient. So this has to be kept in mind that it may happen that we are not capable of doing all the work all the time, so we need to take the help from some other agency who can do that job very easily in less time. So in this sense, we can say that Ramu Cycle Wala has all the expertise to make repair your cycle tire in a very less time, provided he is being given the work of doing the task. What we are going to give Ramu Cycle Wala, actually we are supplying him two things. Number one, we are giving him the cycle which needs to be repaired, the punctured cycle which needs to be repaired, and number two, just the instruction that it has got some puncture and has to be repaired, and some money. So providing this three things to Ramu Cycle Wala actually will work, because he need not need any further instruction from you from your side, because he knows his work well, he knows how to repair cycle, and you don't have to give all those instruction, all those necessary detailed instruction of repairing the cycle. So instead of instructing him every steps, each and every step, all the 10 steps, what you need to do is just to give him the hint that this task has to be done, and this much of time I am giving you, and this is what the input is, that means the cycle which has to be repaired, and some money. Now the Ramu Cycle Wala will take all the pain of repairing your cycle and giving it back to you. So here comes one delegate type of thing, who is being delegated with the task of repairing your cycle, and he does that task very easily. Now one thing needs to be understood here, that the Ramu Cycle Wala is not just for repairing your cycle, he is also looking after all those cycles which is coming to him for such type of repair job. So he is doing the same task again and again for several number of times for several people, and he can do the task very well in a very less time, because he is expertise of that particular task. So this type of job is being done by him repeatedly, and what he needs from all those people who are going to repair their cycle from him, just two things, two inputs, that is, number one, the cycle which needs to be repaired, number two is the money which is needed for repairing of such a cycle. So this should be very clear to you that the repair work needs an expertise, it's a specialized work, and it does not requires that you should know the every details or every skill which is involved in repairing the cycle, because there is a person who can look after the work very efficiently, and you can just give him the work of repairing, and he can repair and just return back to you. So let us compare the two different methods that we have adopted for making for repairing of bicycle's tire. The two methods which we have seen is the first method is the method 1, where we are doing the task ourselves, and the second method is going with the task to Ramu Cycle Wala and getting the task done by him, right? In the both the methods, as you can see that yourself, that the steps right from the beginning, step number 1 to up to step number 10, all those steps are to be done in both the methods. But in case of the first method, all these first 10 steps has to be done by you yourself, whereas in method 2 we have Ramu Cycle Wala, who is an expert in carrying out all these 10 steps very efficiently in a very less time, because he is being skilled for doing that particular type of job, right? So we find this second method uh, very much handy and very much efficient to be used whenever we require such type of repair. Now what I mean to say is that let us find out what the total what type of things that we have to provide to Ramu Cycle Wala when we are going to make our cycles repair work. We are asking him to do our cycle repair work, right? So what we have to do is we have first to go to Ramu Cycle Wala, right? So suppose this is a Ramu cycle shop where we need to go and where we need to repair our cycle. And this shop in this shop we will provide two things basically: the cycle which has to be repaired and the amount that's needs to be paid to him to make the cycle, right? And what he will do, he will take our inputs, that is the cycle and the amount, and then he will go through the all the necessary steps to make the punctured tire, right? All the necessary steps means the 10 steps that we have seen earlier. All those 10 steps will be carried out by him. Now there is one point to discuss here, is that this cycle need not be in every time, need not be our cycle, right? This cycle can be my cycle, it can be my cycle. If my cycle needs to be repaired, it can be your cycle if your cycle is getting punctured, right? It can be your cycle also, or it may be any uncle cycle, right? If your uncle cycle is also getting punctured, he can also go to Ramu Cycle Wala and get his cycle repaired from him. So what I mean to say is that the inputs that are provided to him can be variable input, can be coming from different sources, right? But the task, the main task that is to be done by Ramu will not change. The task which is done by Ramu is only to repair the tire, the punctured tire, right? He will not do any other task apart from this task. He will not assemble your cycle right from the scratch, or he will not repair any car, because he is meant to repair only cycle. He is meant to repair only punctured tire of a cycle. So if you are going to bring a car to him, he may not be able to repair it, because he is only specialized in making the cycle tire repair, right? So what I mean to say is that this type of small area, or this type of a small block which is very much specialized to perform a particular task, are known to be called as functions in programming, right? So functions are very much analogically same to the concept of Ramu Cycle's shop, where we are supplying some input and getting that input. The Ramu Cycle Wala is going to repair your cycle by going through all these several steps one at a time, and we need not bother about what type of steps he is taking. We only need to bother about the repaired cycle which he will give back to us. Now after performing all these 10 steps, what he will return, he will return something to us. He will return what? He will return a repaired cycle. He will return us a repaired cycle, right? So this is what is the final output of our work, right? So we have just analogically compared a real life scenario example with the working of a programming function, means function which we use in Python programming, basically in all sort of programming languages like C, C++, Java, etc. We have all this particular concept. In Python also we have functions which are very much specialized to perform a special type of job, a specific type of job, as many as time we require it to do, right? So we will discuss functions now in a very specific manner, how to write functions, how to apply functions in our code, and what and how to call the functions. Now here one point we need to discuss is that whenever our cycle gets punctured, we must know the name of this particular functionality, that is Ramu Cycles shop. If this is not known to us, if this name is not known to us, we cannot call him, or we cannot call Ramu to make our cycle get repaired, right? So this name is very much essential here to understand, to know, because knowing this name will help you to call that particular functionality, right? So we will see in the next slide. We will see the different details of a function in a program, right? So here in this particular topic, what we have discussed, we have analogically compared the different aspects of a real life scenario with a function, real life scenario where functions can be used, right? Now these functions are making our job very much easier. They are helping us in a manner that we need not every time we need not write the code from the scratch. So these are the few of the important advantages of using a function in our code that we will discuss in the coming lectures. Thank you for this session. Thank you very much.